What's up? Sorry. Hi. What's up? My microphone setup is really not great right now, but basically, I'm Calvin, and today I'm gonna be doing, or at least starting, my project on Macbeth. I'm not in a theater. I don't need to knock. I'm a theater kid, so I would be knocking on wood here, but it's fine. Basically, for school right now, I have this project that I need to do, and this project consists of creating some various thing of some media. That there were a few options where you have to do something related to Macbeth with you and a partner. I chose to just do it solo, which is to make a conceptual album for Macbeth the story. Now, the assignment, you're only supposed to make one of the songs real. You make some lyrics for some of them and make titles for all of them, but I count that as basically a conceptual album. But yeah, so far I've written this much of the benchmark. That's what they call the projects at my school. And the next step is going to be making a to-do list for all the things that I need to do in the project. So, what is the project? Okay, basically, we gotta make, it's English class, so it's gonna be some writing, but we gotta, for my assignment, I have to make a list of song names, lyrics for some of them, and at least one complete original song. And I have to document my process throughout, and I chose to try and make a little mini documentary, if I can. I don't know if this is actually gonna happen, but hopefully. Fingers crossed. Macbeth. The main challenges I'm thinking are gonna be just the time constraint, because it's March 5th and it's due on the 18th, I think, so not a lot of time, but we'll do what we can. We've only read scene or act 1 and then the first scene of act 2, so this is gonna be interesting to try and make this as I read more of the book, or play, I guess. But to start, numbered list of things we need to do. Alright, so basically, I've just copied my section that I need to do into my document here. And here we go. So, Macbeth, the album. Is this play ripe for a soundtrack or what? Very cool. Your task is to create the original track titles, lyrics, and sound, if applicable, for the play. Okay. Determine the genre for the album. Genre? Not sure. That's the answer. Create an original album cover and title. Album title. You know what would be fun for the genre? What if I make it a musical? I like that. I'm gonna make it a musical. Album title is gonna be The Scottish Musical. The Scottish Musical / Macbeth vocalized. Because I think it sounds epic or something. I don't know. It's dumb. Determine the titles of at least 10 tracks. Ooh, that's gonna be fun. Okay, I gotta do that at some point. I'm gonna split this up. Title, done. Create an original album cover, not done. Determine the titles of at least 10 tracks. Write the original lyrics for at least 4 songs. Record at least 1 song. Final video recording must be submitted as a link on my YouTube. Okay. Anyways, I guess we should get started. First things first, before I create my album cover, I'm gonna pull up Macbeth No Fear. Here it is. Now of course, the first lines of this are the 3 witches. Okay, so basically this whole section, I sped it up because it's pretty long. This is just like a bunch of recordings that I did with me, just sort of looking through and researching all of the sections, going back through all the pieces that I'd already read in class, and turning them into songs with little descriptions after of what is actually in the song. And one of the things that was most helpful for doing this was this incredible resource that my teacher found us, which is called Macbeth No Fear. It's super helpful. It's basically a simple modern translation of the text on the right with the original text on the left, and page numbers and scene numbers and stuff. And it's really nice, really helpful for me. It made it a lot easier to figure stuff out, especially for the scenes that I hadn't yet read and that we hadn't discussed in class yet at that point. Because that was most of the scenes, in fact. I had to read through. I also used Google snippets, which I am slightly ashamed to admit. I did use Google snippets, just typing in act blank, scene blank, summary, and then you get the little snippet. But I only used that if I was genuinely confused on what was happening in a scene. And I think that's fair. I don't think that that's that big of a deal, but yeah, that's basically what this all is. I'm going through, you can see me, I'm changing stuff, I'm like trying to make a nice song list. The song list ends up being very long, which makes sense because, you know, this as a musical, it's kind of hard to shorten down. I probably made it a little too long, but it's fine. I'll make some of the songs short and whatever. I think it ended up being 21 songs long in the end of it. I don't get through all of them in these recordings. I did a lot of it off camera, honestly, just because I didn't want to waste space on my computer and stuff. Am I supposed to say something else? Lovely weather we're having. After doing those first few song names, I was feeling a little bit burnt out, and I wanted to switch to something else, so I started working on the album cover. Sorry about the sound effects in the background. I thought it'd be funny to do a sound effect every time I did the undo button. It ended up being really annoying, so I don't keep it the whole time, but it is there at the beginning. But anyways, I'm using this arch shape to guide the shape of the text. Here, basically the title on the thing is gonna be Macbeth, the Scottish musical. Here I'm doing these sort of double line things on the sides of my letters. Then I try to write the Scottish musical with just lines, like drawing lines like I did here for Macbeth, but it ends up not looking good, so I try to do it with text, but for some reason my text wasn't moving. Like I couldn't move around the text when I wrote it, so I had to close and reopen the app, and then it worked. Speaking of the app, I'm actually using the default sketchbook app that you can just get for free on the App Store. It's just called Sketchbook. I use there's this little trick that I learned where basically you turn on the mirror tool and then put a little line, and that line will be the same on both sides, evenly spaced out from the center of the drawing, and then you can use that as a guide to move around other things to be perfectly centered on your canvas. And that's how I centered the text of the Scottish musical. Here I'm outlining it with black to make it look more drawn, and then once I'm done that, I start working on the actual designs in the artwork. I wanted three main sort of symbols. I wanted the branch for Birnam Wood moving to Dunsinane. I wanted the dagger for the dagger of the mind / the dagger that Macbeth uses to kill Duncan, and then I wanted the crown that Duncan wears. You can see here I'm outlining the branches. I made this one branch and then I sort of copied and pasted it to the other side. Here you can see I'm actually outlining the branches again to make them slightly uneven and different on each side, even though they're mostly symmetrical. They're not exactly the same. And that's just so that it looks a little bit more hand-drawn, and makes the illusion that I just drew two branches very similarly. Or maybe it's unnoticeable, but I like the way that it looks, the way that it's slightly different for each side. After that, I started working on the dagger. I used the center tool to perfectly center my dagger. I ended up making the, handle, the hilt I think that's called the handle, not the hilt. I don't know, maybe they're the same thing. But I ended up making the handle too long. Here I try to make a line down the middle, but I thought that looked too swordy, so I stopped. The handle looked too swordy as well, so I tried to shorten it to make it more daggery. I edited a little bit because now the line isn't the right width compared to the rest of the lines. But once I'm done that, I try to add the little centered line again. End up deciding it doesn't look good, and then I go on to sort of centering the dagger between the branches. Once I'm done that, I think I start moving on to, I try to draw the crown here. Now, I was originally going to do a crown and then a witch's hat on the other side, but I ended up not liking the way that looked, so I ended up centering the crown later. But here I'm trying to make the crown out of shapes, just like within the app. I end up not liking the way that this looks, at all. It really didn't look good, so I ended up finding a PNG of a crown on Amazon, an Amazon listing for a crown. It's actually the same crown that my teacher has in her room, the Amazon listing for that specific crown. I found a PNG of it on Amazon, and I just sort of put it in, and then traced it. Here you can see me positioning it to the side there. I actually end up centering it using the little center trick. I outline it thinner, but anyways, as I was saying, my teacher has this exact crown. We have it in the classroom, which I thought was cute that I found the same one. Here I'm outlining it just in thinner lines, and then I'm gonna reposition it. I decided to do thinner lines so that I could reposition it and then go back over with thicker lines, just because I wanted to be able to resize it and reshape it without the line thickness changing from the line thickness of the rest of the piece. So I decided to sort of position it first so that when I go back over, all of the line thickness will be consistent. Once I'm done with that, I start doing I sort of erase parts of the crown and parts of the dagger to make it so that they don't look overlapping anymore, and it looks like the dagger's actually inside the crown. And then I move on to coloring, I think. First I write the concept album by Calvin Singer at the bottom. Then I center that using the center trick, and then I move on to coloring. For this, you're going to see me doing a trick where first I make my palette, and then I'm going to add a sort of very saturated, low opacity color over top of everything. I like this trick because then what you can do is you can sort of the color dropper, color picker tool. You can use it to color pick the actual tinted colors of your color palette with the low opacity thing over it to make these sort of all slightly hue shifted colors very easily in a pretty way. And you can see me actually making two different shades of leaves here and putting them over the one branch. I used a sort of brownish color for the branch, but it looks purple with the purple tint. Then I copy and paste it and flip it over to the other side, and I erase some of the leaves at the very end so that it looks slightly different from the other side at the very middle where they meet, because I didn't like the idea that they looked identical, even though it is mostly identical. After that, I start working on the dagger. You can see here I use these different fun little colors for the dagger. In the end, after I put in all the colors, I felt like they all looked a little too purpley, and so I decided to put a yellow tint over everything. You'll see at the very end. That yellow tint actually also has the nice side effect of making all of the black slightly yellowy in a way that looks really fun and nice, I think, but it keeps the sort of slight purple tint over everything just lessened. Here I'm doing a gold for the crown, and then I do a darker gold color. I do a darker gold color for the background there. Once I've done that, I start working on these little gems here, and then after that, I layer the sort of bold line art over top, and then I start working on my background. I picked these two greens and a gold for the background, which end up looking like blues and a gold because of the purple tint over everything. Here I copy and paste 2 diagonal stripe situations over top of each other to make this diamond pattern in the background, and then I start adding golden accents on the inside. I'm making sort of a wallpaper shape almost. Originally I tried to make these sort of squares within multiple diamonds, but then I end up doing this different strategy to make the diamonds where I'm doing little half circles off of each of the inside walls of the diamond, and then it makes these little star shapes. I was calling them diamonds earlier. I meant these like little, I guess they're kind of diamonds, kind of stars. But anyways, after I'm done all of those, I add these sort of gold lines in between each of the sections. I think the 2 things that this background reminds me of is like a wallpaper, and then also like almost a magical wizard background, which I think really fits the themes of Macbeth. I had this sort of golden bit to the inside filling of the title, and then I add the yellow tint. Here I am adding this sort of off-white sort of sticker, like thick outline. By sticker I meant like, you know how like stickers will have sort of like a space around them that is like white, which I'm assuming is there for like overfill in case the print is slightly not centered. Overfill is definitely not the right word, but you know what I mean. Like if the print isn't centered, it'll still work because you have that sort of sticker border, a buffer. Like a buffer space of white. But anyways, here you can see me outlining, sorry, I went on a complete tangent there. You can see me outlining everything with the off-white because I liked the way that it looked on the text. Speaking of the way that it looked on the text, I actually tried to do it on the text, the Scottish musical text, but I didn't like the way that it looked originally because of the black outline already there behind it. So I took a little time to think, outlining the rest of it, including the title here. You can see me outlining every letter of the title. But while I was doing this, I decided that I did want to sort of outline everything. So after I take some time on this H, I have to redo the entire right side of it because I didn't like how thick I ended up making it. But after I do the H, you can see me sort of pondering what I want to do with the text, and then I decide to try and make this sort of oval shape with a shape to try and match the shape with the shape tool to try and match the arch. Then I try to draw it, and after neither of those look good the way that I want them, I just end up giving up and outlining it like all the rest of it. And even though it doesn't look perfect because of that slightly transparent gray outline already around all of the text, it was too late in the process and I was too many merged layers deep for me to be able to change it. So that was my final design, and I'm pretty happy with it. Hi, it's been a little while. I'm quite sick right now, so I'm not, doing the best, but so far I've just made this sort of date thing. So actually lyrics for songs is officially done, which is good. And I have completely finished all of the sections, all of the song titles and descriptions. So let me go through all of them real quick, just as a refresher. So first, scene 1, fair is foul, the witches introduce the play. Scene 2, or song 2, hurly burly, King Duncan meets an injured captain and hears of the battle. Scene 3, all hail Macbeth, the witches return and speak with Macbeth and Banquo, then Ross and Angus speak with them about the king's invitation. Scene 4, My King. Macbeth and Banquo meet King Duncan and he congratulates them, makes Macbeth Thane of Cawdor and announces his son's next in line for the throne. We see Macbeth's dilemma between the prophecy and his loyalty. Scene 5, a letter from Macbeth. Scene 6, Be a Man. The messenger and Macbeth arrive, Lady Macbeth talks of killing the king, etc. Scene 7, My King 2, Be a Man 2. Duncan arrives, Macbeth soliloquy, argument with Lady Macbeth. 8, A dagger of the mind, conversation with Banquo, Macbeth soliloquy, Macbeth prepares to kill Duncan. Scene 9, what have I done? We don't see the murder, instead we get the conversation between Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. As Macbeth grapples with the guilt of his actions, he hears knocking intensify as the song crescendos and ends. Knock, knock, knock. A drunk porter knocking on the door and spouting nonsense, then the conversation with Macduff, the porter, and Lennox. Then Macbeth arrives and Macduff goes to wake the king. 11. The king is dead. Chaos as everyone finds out the king's dead. Also, Malcolm and Donalbain discuss plans to flee. 12. Goodbye, dear friend. Banquo speaks with Macbeth about the prophecy, among other things, and is invited to a feast, then must leave. Once he is gone, Macbeth speaks with murderers and convinces them that Banquo is the reason for their troubles, sending them to kill him to stop the prophecy. Macbeth talks quickly with Lady Macbeth about his nightmares and putting it behind him, and flattering Banquo during the feast to hide their true intentions. Then the murderers, plus one more murderer, kill Banquo, and his son escapes. 13. The feast. The feast occurs, all celebrate. Macbeth speaks to the murderer, finds out Banquo is dead, but not his son. Then cheerses. Then Macbeth sees the ghost. We get a reprise of Be a Man, and then the feast ends. Macbeth and Lady Macbeth talk, and Macbeth plans to sleep and then see the witches in the morning. 14. Hecate's plan. Hecate speaks with the witches and scolds them for talking with Macbeth about her permission, without her permission or input, then explains her plan to trick Macbeth the next morning with illusions. 15. What a great king. Lennox and a lord discuss Macbeth's actions sarcastically, saying he's a tyrant. They then say how Macduff has gone to England to get help from King Edward to overthrow Macbeth. 16. Macbeth. The witches have just made a potion. Now Hecate enters, and so does Macbeth. Then spirits convince Macbeth that he is more powerful than he is, and he orders to kill Macduff. Make sure to include the line about Birnam Wood coming to Dunsinane, also about any men born from a woman. Then Lennox enters and shares that Macduff is in England, and Macbeth orders to kill Macduff's whole family. Song 17. He'll pay. We see Macduff and Malcolm talking in England, then Ross arrives. He gives news of how horrible Scotland has become, ending with news of Macduff's family's death. This enrages and saddens Macduff, leading him to decide to fight back and avenge his family. They have 10,000 English soldiers from King Edward on their side. 18. Be a Man 3. We get a new version of Be a Man, where news is brought to Macbeth. First, the doctor tries to bring news, but is scolded by Macbeth. Then a servant enters and tells him that there are 10,000 soldiers on the way. He scolds the servant. Then Macbeth calls for an important servant named Satan to come to confirm the rumors, and then asks for his armor. When told he doesn't need it yet, he scolds Satan. Then a doctor tells him that Lady Macbeth is not sick physically, but mentally from trauma and guilt. Macbeth tells the doctor to cure her anyway and to be a man. The doctor says she must cure herself, and Macbeth scolds him, then asks for his armor. Again, quote, I will not be afraid of death and destruction until Birnam Wood moves to Dunsinane. 19. Birnam Wood moves to Dunsinane. The soldiers arrive. Malcolm orders each soldier to break off a branch from the forest and bring it to them to conceal their numbers. And bring it with them to conceal their numbers. Then we get news from Seward that Macbeth is not scared and is foolishly still in Dunsinane. Switch scenes to find Macbeth. He is not scared and says his castle will hold against them. A messenger tells him the queen has died. He says it was bound to happen, dismissing it. He does not care anymore. He repeats his statement about the forest moving to Dunsinane. Then another messenger enters and informs him that Birnam Wood seems to be approaching Dunsinane. He says if he's lying, he's as good as dead, but if he's truthful, he himself is as good as dead. Then Macbeth snaps. He says he doesn't care for life anymore, wants chaos, and says at least he'll die with his armor on like a real man. 20. The Man Who Was Not Born. Macbeth is challenged by Seward's son and defeats him, saying he was born from a woman. He is then challenged by Macduff. Macbeth states that he will win since Macduff was born from a woman, but Macduff reveals that he was cut from her womb before she could birth him. 21. Foul is Fair. The witches return and explain the rest of the story, ending it as a cautionary tale. So, yeah, that's all of the song names that I have, and I also did the lyrics, of 4 songs, so I'm going to go through those next. Okay, so, here's the lyrics to I did the first 4 songs, so here we go. I'm going to be so honest, it's like really hard to put a beat to this. 1. Fair is foul. When shall we 3 meet again, in thunder, lightning, or rain? When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be ere the set of sun. Come, my sisters, come with me, daughters of her majesty, harbingers of Hecate, in fly the witches 3. When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or rain? When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be ere the set of sun. Sisters, look, a Thane has come. We could have his world undone, but we were given orders none. Come on, sister, have some fun. Ah, fine. When shall we three meet again, in thunder, lightning, or rain? When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won. That will be ere the set of sun. Where the place, upon the heath, there we witches Macbeth will meet. Fair is foul, and foul is fair, hover through fog in the filthy air. Then we get, well, first let me talk about this. A lot of the lines in this were taken directly from scene one, because I feel like scene one does a really good job of sounding like a song and being very poetic. And so I wanted to keep it mostly, but I added some rhyming and some extra lines to make it more fun. Um, yeah, two, the hurly-burly. Who is this man, our king, covered in blood, our king, our king? What does he know, our king, our king? Does he bring news? Tell me at once. Your Majesty, this is a sergeant who fought very hard to settle the scores. He doesn't have much more time. Sir, please tell our great King Duncan the state of the war. At first it was very uncertain. Both sides put up a good fight. Yes, but that rebel Macdonald, he had Lady Luck on his side. Then, when all seemed so hopeless, Macbeth did arrive on the scene, and it seems Lady Luck didn't cut it. He cut that old rebel Macdonald into smithereens. Oh, what a valiant man he must be, worthy of all of the glory this victory has brought. Your Majesty, I haven't finished just yet. Please let me progress the plot. Yes, this victory brought us more problems. The Norwegian king saw an opportunity to strike, and Macbeth retreated as soon as he saw them. No, he standed his ground for the fight. Sir, I'd love to say more. Yes, but I feel very weak. Right. I'm afraid that my wounds are quite serious. I've used all my strength to speak. Captain, your wounds bring you honor, as do your words. Get him a surgeon right away, my king. My king, who is this? This is Ross, a Thane. Yes, I bring news of the battle. Explain. Sir, I've come here from Fife, where the Norwegian king leads his army with help from a traitorous Thane. A Thane hailing from where? Cawdor, sir. He will pay. Yes, he will. And so will the Norwegian king if he signs our agreement, the terms of a treaty. My patience is fleeting. I'll make sure the traitor and Cawdor will never betray us again. Announce his execution. While you're at it, transfer his titles to the worthy Macbeth. Right away, sir. I'll see it done. The Thane has lost what the noble Macbeth has won. There you go. Okay, now we can do All Hail Macbeth. Come, my sisters, where were thee? Killing swine, and where were thee? Scaring sailors off the seas. In fly the witches three. Then we get drums. What's that thrum? Sister, a drum. A drum, yes, a drum. Macbeth doth come. The weird sisters hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to nine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up nine. Enough! The charm is ready. Banquo. A day like this, so foul and fair, I have not seen in all my time. How much farther to forest, and what are these creatures, so withered, so wild in their attire? Are you alive? You seem to understand me. Speak if you can. What are you ghastly three? All hail Macbeth, Thane of Glamis, hail to thee. All hail Macbeth, Thane of Cawdor, hail to thee. All hail Macbeth, King hereafter you shall be. Macbeth, why so scared of such creatures foul yet oh so fair? Tell me, creatures, are you imagined or are you really standing there? You speak of such great visions, predictions of what my dear friend's future will share, and yet you speak of me not. You ought to have thought of some for me, at least one to spare. Hail, 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 for you are much lesser than him, yet much greater as well. Not so happy, yet happier still, and what's more, although you will never be king, all your kin will be kings instead. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo. Wait one moment, there's more to be said. Creatures, please give us more specific prophecies. How would a man such as me acquire the crown? You can't just stop prophecies halfway through. So creatures, Macbeth commands you speak now. Oh, curses, they're gone. Into thin air. I wish they had stayed. Do you think that what they say will come true? Your children shall be kings. Sir, you shall be king. And Thane of Cawdor, too, is that right? Yes, exactly, but wait, who's this? The king was pleased to hear what you've done, Macbeth. Messenger after messenger brings news of how you stared in the face of death and won. Yes, I was right beside him. Right, yes. Well, the king has invited you. He wants to reward you himself, and to give you a taste of your power to come, he has dubbed you the Thane of Cawdor as well. Who? Me? Right, yes. Who else could it be? It could have been me. But wait, how can I be Thane of Cawdor? There's already one and he's perfectly well, is he not? Right, yes. The previous Thane is still living, but he was a traitor and he has been caught. Ha! Those creatures spoke the truth. Who would have thought? So maybe the best is yet to come, Macbeth. For me, your children shall be kings, sir. You shall be king, but I, alas, will not. Okay, so that was That was All Hail Macbeth. I wanted to sort of keep a lot of that sort of energy of the weird witches and stuff and the weird rhythm from the beginning the same. And I also like the rhythm of the that I sort of have. I don't know what that's called. It's a thing. It's a thing in like poems and rhyming stuff that's done. I don't remember what it is. It's like da dum da dum da dum. Yeah, iambic pentameter is what it's called. It's the da dun da dun da dun da dun da dun, which is what I'm trying to do with my music, and I think that's gonna be fun to figure out for the rest of the songs if I actually make the rest of these songs other than these first four. But anyways, here's my king. This one might be hard for me to do the whole thing in one go, but I'm gonna try my best. I did not, in fact, record it in one attempt, so instead, here is a highlight reel of all of my fails. But I was just feeling heavy with. Okay, so you deserve more than I could have. But I was just feeling heavy with guilt. What I've figured out more than I ever could give. But that I find you stand. Oh my God! In the past few minutes of me trying to get Macbeth, hail, Macbeth, hail to thee, a recording of me doing the entirety of my king. But I was just but I was just feeling heavy with guilt. Is that it's very difficult. I say this solemnly. All I can offer you, all I, oh my God, to your Majesty, please. The service and loyalties. Your Majesty, please do the rhythms. What's more, I implore you, Your Majesty, please. And so, Macbeth, you are welcome here any time. I don't think by making you Thane of Cawdor, and if by making you Thane of Cawdor, I will be able to do it in one shot. You deserve no less than Macbeth, I'll have it known. Oh my gosh, this is confusing, but I'm gonna try one more time. Less than Macbeth, I'll have it known. And I'll have it known. Upon thee I give you my warmest welcomes and blessings too, that any good king would bestow. Oh my god! Let's see if I can do it.
Genuinely like 45 minutes of practice later.
Okay, this is attempt, what, like 4 or 5 or so? I don't know anymore. Here we go. Malcolm, son, what has happened to Cawdor's Thane? Has he been executed, and if so, what of the people who I sent to have him slain? My king, my king, my king, they haven't returned, but I've spoken with someone who saw him die, and frankly, he confessed to everything. Well then, son, I have learned that somebody can simply be read by their face. I trusted that man completely, and yet here we are, and I was betrayed. Ah, Macbeth, hail to thee. This day has been foul and now so fair that I find you standing there. But I was just feeling heavy with guilt. After all, you deserve more than I ever could give. If only you had deserved less, then maybe I could have rewarded you properly. Honestly, I say this solemnly, all I can offer thee, fame, wealth, and property, all of it added together and doubled, could never have settled the score. Your Majesty, please, the service and loyalty is more than enough for me. Being your subject is its own reward. What's more, I implore you, allow us to serve you, for doing whatever we can to defend you is only doing what we should. Rest assured. Macbeth, you are welcome here any time. I've planted the seed of success within your career by making you Thane of Cawdor, and of course, in Will Banquo, you deserve no less than Macbeth, and I'll have it known. Upon thee I give you my warmest of welcomes and blessings that any good king would bestow. Thank you, your highness, although, if I do grow, the harvest will be your own. My plenteous joys, you bring tears to my eyes and warmth to my cold. All of my sons, my relatives, lords, I want you to witness and listen to hear my words. My eldest son Malcolm, I've made him the heir to the throne. He will be named Prince of Cumberland, but in receiving honors he will not be alone. And now, Macbeth, let us go to your castle at Inverness. I'd like to see your abode. My king, of course you may visit. I'll welcome you once I am home, but first I'll deliver the news to my wife, and with that, I must go. Really, Malcolm is next for the throne. I'll either have to step over him, or I should give up and take what I'm given. Maybe this isn't the kingdom those creatures expect me to own. My king, I don't know. Lord, why must my life be so complicated? I can't comprehend myself king of this country when Duncan, my king, is still on the throne. Lord, please throw me a bone. Can't those 3 creatures just tell me what I must do next? I expected this ordeal to be a lot easier. Please, someone help me find strength to do whatever I'm supposed to do. My king, I should go. What's that, Banquo? Yes, of course. Oh, Macbeth is truly every bit as valiant as you say he is. Let's follow after him now that he has gone to prepare our welcome. He's a man without equal, truly, an honest, noble hero. I'd go so far as to say I trust him with my very life.
Who put that image in there?
I don't have enough time to wait for it to dry. It's whatever. I'm excited to start. Okay, so today is March 20th. You may remember I said it was due on the 18th. So, usually in like a video, they usually have like a deadline that makes it sort of like more interesting, because like, oh, am I gonna get it done? Well, I didn't, because I got like super sick over like the few days till I had to record it, like the song, and I couldn't record the song that I needed to record for the project because I was super sick and my throat was hurting. Now it's a bit better, and I got an extension, so there goes all of the tension of, oh, I'm gonna make it, but it is still due in 3 days. So on, when is it due? It's due on the 22nd. It's the 20th right now. So that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, so here we go. Basically, I'm gonna be doing Fair is Foul with the three witches. That's the only characters. And I already sort of have an idea for how I want to do the song. I may have done a little bit already. So we can take a listen to my chord progression and my melody. This is what I have so far. You get the idea. So that is the song so far. Now I just gotta start recording, I guess. I mean, yeah, and you'll see it come together as it goes. You'll see how things fit. It's gonna be fun. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna start by adding a new track, a voice and mic track. So I use this cool free website called Soundtrap. I'm gonna change it to clean so that there's no audio effects on it, because it starts with some reverb, and I like my vocals unnecessarily dry. Basically, there's this free software that's sort of like, GarageBand and other sort of popular free studios, but I originally got it in like 5th or 6th grade, because I used to go to this, I went to this music school in 5th grade. Story time, I went to this music school from 5th grade to 8th grade, and there they sort of taught us music production and singing and stuff, and one of the things that we had to do was use music production software to make music sometimes, and so I found this free software. This was the best one that I could find that was recommended, that can be used both on your phone, on a computer, on all of the websites, on all of the different types of computers, because it's just a browser thing. It's just a website. It's not like a downloaded thing, so I could use it on my school Chromebooks and stuff, and I still use it to this day because I've just gotten so used to it, and I've always sort of used like subpar tools to make my stuff. I don't know why, I just like it. It's comforting. So here we go. This is Soundtrap. If you're wondering why it looks different from probably any other music software you've seen people use, that's why. But it's really good. It's like genuinely a super good software. So if your budget is 0 and you want to be able to work on like cross-platform, this is my best suggestion especially for beginners, because it's really nice and easy, and they have a little tutorial and stuff. Sorry, I'm yapping. Okay, let's get started. So I'm gonna give all of the characters voices, so you're gonna have to bear with the slight cringe of that, but here we go. Let's also just see how this sounds, because I don't know how my mic is gonna pick this up, so let's find out. Metronome. I'm gonna move everything over, like half a bar, 1 bar. I'll move everything over 1 bar. so that I get a little bit of time, because you can turn on like a metronome startup, but I always find it a little annoying, because if you do that, you don't get the opportunity. I don't know. Basically, you can't, like, since it starts recording the second that it starts, if you give a count in instead of giving yourself just wiggle room at the start, then the beginning of your vocals might be cut off if you're slightly off time, which is annoying. So instead, I do it this way. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, but here we go. Let's see. So let me just go through first and see what I can, like, remember how to sing. I did not realize until after recording that the mic audio corrupts when recording in two places, Soundtrap and my voice recording website. You're just gonna have to trust that it sounds decent on my end. Forward thinking is not this man's strong suit. How did I say that? Okay, hold on. Try again. I didn't do the rhyming for again and again, so let me just listen to how this sounds.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or rain?
Not bad. Pretty good, pretty solid. All right, let me see how I like that.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or rain? Come, my sisters, come with me.
Okay, that's good. That's very good. Solid. Let's do next track. We duplicate the track to keep the settings the same so that I don't have to go back in and switch the mic to clean again. And I'm gonna stop the video every time I do a new track just because I don't want to make the videos too long so they don't take up too much space. Okay, the next track is gonna be The Witch 2. I don't know what voice to give the second witch. They're just supposed to sound weird. That's why I'm not giving them Scottish accents or really normal British accents. I'm giving them just the weirdest accents I can think of. So maybe like a... When the hurly-burly is done, when the battle's lost and won. That's weird enough, sure. Let's try it. Sure, that works.
In thunder, lightning, or rain? When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
It's a little ahead, I think, just the tiniest bit. Hold on. Next track. Duplicate. Delete that. Turn off those. I already have an idea. I already have a very good idea for Witch 3, so I'm just gonna...
That will be the set of sun.
Maybe I do try to do it the octave down. Okay, I can do that.
When shall we three meet again?
Okay, so what I discovered is that I may have been getting closer and farther from my mic in a way that made it sound really bad. Here. Lost and won. Okay, let me try one more time. We're gonna go back through the whole thing. We're gonna do it all. Man, I need some water. My voice is dying.
That will be this. You can't do. I can't do this.
I can't do this. It has to be something super different. That will be the set of sun. That will be the set of sun. That works. Avengers of Hecate. It doesn't work. That doesn't work. Okay, I think I sort of got something. I'm gonna try it one more time. Spoiler alert, he didn't. He didn't have anything at all. Okay, this next step is kind of fun. We have a 3-part harmony, and I need to, since I'm doing a cappella for this. For my concept album, I'm doing a cappella because that's kind of my thing. We have to split up the tracks into different sections and then sing them as if we're an instrument. So let's go ahead and get the top track soloed. Okay, that is the first one. Here's where it gets a little more difficult, because now we have to single out the middle. So, let's see if we can do that. And last but not least, I need to get rid of everything but the bottom row. Now we should have, 3 tracks. We got 3 tracks of the chords. I'm gonna try and record almost like a string instrument. I don't really know. I'm gonna try to record it like a string instrument. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but we're gonna try our best. Okay, that's our first track. Now let's listen to the second one. Did I really mess up at the very end? It's okay, you know what I'll do? Split region, Control C, Control V, fixed. Okay. Let's hear it together now. Okay, time for the third one. Let's see what it sounds like. Solid. I'm gonna try long like bows, almost like. I think I did that a little loud. Actually not bad. I'm surprised that didn't peak the mic at all. Well, next one. Okay, my phone storage died for a bit. I had to delete some stuff because apparently this takes up a lot of space on my phone to record all this. But it's fine, we're back, and we're about to record the last sections. Let's do it. Okay, we did it. We got it. Now let me just balance the audio for these guys. Okay, I think that's good. How does it sound with these? Idea.
When shall we three meet again? in thunder, lightning, or rain.
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won,
That will be ere the set of sun.
that will be ere the set of sun. That will be ere the set of sun. Honor, record your. That will be ere the set of sun.
Come, my sisters, come with me.
Harbingers of Hecate. Harbingers of Hecate. I'm gonna try one more time, but I don't want to waste your time on camera, so I'll skip ahead to when I finally get it. So basically, I did a little work on the song. I added some percussion, I fixed some things, I redid this track. What was the last thing that I was gonna do? I was gonna redo this track or something with a different vocal style because I didn't like it, or one of the things. I did something, or maybe it was here. I added a bass line so that this sounds better. I added In Fly the Witches 3. I did a bunch of stuff, so let's just go through and listen.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or rain.
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be ere the set of sun.
Come, my sisters, come with me.
Daughters of Her Majesty, harbingers of Hecate,
In fly the witches three. When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or rain.
when the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be ere the set of sun.
Sisters, look, a thane has come.
We could have his world undone, but we were given orders none. Come on, sister, have some fun. Fine. So that's the song so far. The thing that I'm currently working on is trying to implement this, like, sort of, I don't know what it is called, this sort of army sounding drum. It's like a snare or something. I don't know what this is. It almost sounds like a snare drum. It almost sounds like it's almost like a marching band drum, but more muted and less, like a lot less treble. It's like almost muffled sounding. I don't know what you would call that type of drum. I don't know if it's just like a muffled snare or something. But anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna be adding this guy to things. He starts a beat and a bit away. So like here, right? Yeah. Okay. So now we try and figure out like patterns for this. I'm gonna steal these guys. We're gonna put them right there. I'm gonna take this guy, put him here, so it'll be that's enough different patterns. We'll copy this whole string, and then what we'll do is we'll just take the entire thing, merge regions, then this goes from before 1 to 19, which means, actually, you know what? Split. Look at that. Merge regions. Yep. So it should be right here to right here. There's my loop. Okay, so it's a little later. And here's what I have so far from the beginning. Just done a little bit of changes. Here's what it is so far. I was able to implement the new drums. You know what? Okay, so here's how I implemented the drums. I decided to put them a little later.
Witches 3. When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or rain?
When the hurly is done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be the set of sun.
Sisters, look, a thane has come.
We could have his world undone, but we were given orders none.
Come on, sister, have some fun.
Fine. So that's how I implemented those. Now my next idea is to try and add some like snaps, but it's a cappella, so I'm just gonna do like tongue clicks almost. Okay, so we got a lot of them. So let me combine some stuff. Now I've added these snaps to it, so now it sounds like this. Pretty good. Next, I'm going to record the rest of the lines for the different witches, starting with which one? Let's do it. Let's see if I can do it. So I may have gotten carried away and accidentally did the rest of it also. So, oops, here it is.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be the set of sun.
Come, my sisters, come with me,
Daughters of Her Majesty, harbingers of Hecate.
in fly the witches 3. When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be the set of sun.
Sisters, look, a thane has come.
We could have his world undone, but we were given orders none.
Come on, sister, have some fun.
Fine.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or rain?
When the honeymoon is done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon a heath, there we witches Macbeth will meet.
Fair is foul and foul is fair, covered through fog in the filthy air.
Boom shakalaka, bro. Boom shakalaka. We did it. There you go. There's the song. But I do still have 2 days.